Run, MAGA Mike, run. Doesn't it seem that every single day now, MAGA Mike Johnson, the Republican Speaker of the House, is panicking in sheer terror in the halls of the Capitol building, running away from the press who have very basic questions to ask him? Just take yesterday, for example, where MAGA Mike was running away as the press wanted to know his response to Donald Trump calling for the execution via hanging of Democratic lawmakers who put out a video telling the troops not to follow unlawful orders and telling the troops that these Democratic lawmakers have their back. MAGA Mike attacks the Democratic lawmakers and says, well, of course, Donald Trump did what he was supposed to do here. Here, just watch what MAGA Mike does. Here, play this clip.
Speaker, how you doing? The president posted that Democrats who urge service members to not follow illegal orders should be punished, it should be seditious, conspiracy, and punishable by death. Give me a response to that.
Look, I know the DOJ and the Pentagon are looking into the legality of all that, but what I can address is what everybody knows. That was wildly inappropriate. It is very dangerous. You have leading members of Congress telling troops to disobey orders. I think that's unprecedented in American history. And as the father of a young man who is, at the Naval Academy, going to be joining the service, I know young soldiers, airmen, sailors, they don't need that kind of nonsense from people in Congress. It is very dangerous. At a very dangerous time. I'm going to let others define what it is, but it's wildly inappropriate.
And by the way, I just got to show you right here what Democratic Senator Mark Kelly had to say about this. Here, play this clip.
What does it say when the White House press secretary has to deny that the president wants Democratic members of Congress executed?
Well, Kate, it says we are in uncharted waters. I mean, I never expected, after serving 25 years in the Navy, flying combat missions over Iraq and Kuwait, flying the space shuttle, that now I've got to worry about my personal safety and that of my wife, Gabby Giffords, who was already nearly assassinated because of something the president said.
In MAGA Mike's face, doesn't it always just look like this right now? Let's just take a look at what else has been going on, though, as MAGA Mike and these MAGA Republicans are in utter terror and they just don't know what to do since the government shutdown has ended. In these hearings, I think they humiliate themselves like every single moment. Like here you have MAGA Republican Senator John Cornyn, and he was calling costumed anti-ICE protesters and dancing grandmothers absolute lunatics. He goes, we really have to worry about those grandmas doing the Jane Fonda dances. I kid you not. This is verbatim what he said. Here, play this clip.
Committing physical violence to activists dressed as dinosaurs and rabbits. And in some costumes that I won't even hazard a guess as to what they are trying to represent. We've even seen some dancing grandmas trying to stop enforcement of our immigration laws, one Jane Fonda dance move at a time.
I don't know. What's worse, that or Lindsey Graham, and his face is like bright orange, like they're all doing the Trump bright orange thing going on with their face, or is it bright red? I don't know. And Lindsey Graham's like, I am absolutely suing Biden's DOJ and Jack Smith, and I'm going to make millions of dollars. And this is in regards to Lindsey Graham and the MAGA Republican senators creating a cause of action for them to sue the federal government right now, Trump's DOJ. The money would come from we, the people, the taxpayer dollars, in connection with the fact that as part of Special Counsel Jack Smith's criminal investigation regarding the insurrection, subpoenas were issued lawfully by courts, and certain Republican senators' phone numbers showed up because they were speaking to Donald Trump in connection with the insurrection and related to January 6th. And the digits of their phone number showed up. So the MAGA Republicans passed a law to allow themselves to sue for $500,000 per time that their digits show up in the phone records subpoenaed by special counsel Jack Smith. So they could potentially get tens of millions of dollars, but it's going to be paid for by the taxpayers. Biden's not in office anymore, Lindsey Graham, but here's what Lindsey says. Play this clip.
But I'm willing to work with my colleagues about the $500,000. I'm going to sue. I want to let you know, I'm going to sue Biden's DOJ and Jack Smith. I'm going to sue Verizon. It's going to be a hell of a lot more than $500,000.
And then you had MAGA Republican Senator John Thune saying, you know, we've talked about that provision that Lindsey Graham was just talking about, and we'll see what the Republicans want to do about it. Maybe we'll get rid of it. I don't know. We'll see. Here's what Thune says. Here, play this clip.
You had a conversation during lunch about what you're going to do with this provision that allows senators to sue. Have you decided what you're going to do when the House sends that bill over to rescind that provision?
Well, we had a good conversation about that, and we'll have, I'm sure, a more fulsome conversation. Obviously, we'll see what the House does, but I will tell you that was designed, that was a Senate-specific solution. The statute that was violated applied only to the Senate, which is why we addressed it the way that we did. We strengthened that provision when it comes to allowing a federal government agency, the Justice Department in this case, to collect information, private information on individual senators. We think that's a violation of separation of powers under the Constitution. Obviously, Jack Smith violated the law in the way he went about that. This is something that needed to be addressed, and we'll see what the House does. And then we'll find out what our colleagues here in the Senate want to do. One thing I can tell you is there is a high level of interest in addressing the weaponization of the federal government, in this case the Biden Justice Department, against Article 1 members of our government here in the United States Senate.
Sorry, Thune. These guys are such liars. It not only made it into the law, so it's not a clean continuing resolution, it included a cause of action for these MAGA Republican senators. You know what it also did? It also eliminated any defenses that could be asserted by the DOJ. So essentially it becomes an automatic payment to the MAGA Republican senators. So while the American people were starving and are starving to death, as unemployment ticked up to 4.4%, as 20 to 30 million Americans will be losing their health care, this is what the MAGA Republicans are doing. And can we just have a YouTube cleanser, podcast cleanser for a moment? Let me show you Democrats fighting back against MAGA Mike and Thune and Lindsey Graham and this whole criminal cartel that is this Trump MAGA movement. Take a look at what Democratic Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett was talking about yesterday with respect to the corrupt Kristi Noem, who's the Department of Homeland Security Secretary. Play this clip.
Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem. Not only has Secretary Noem been busy filming propaganda ads, she's also been busy cashing in on millions of taxpayer dollars. In fact, Secretary Noem has funneled millions of dollars to a company called the Strategy Group. The Strategy Group helped Secretary Noem win her campaign to become the governor of South Dakota. Corey Lewandowski, her top policy advisor, has worked with the firm. And the company's CEO is married to Secretary Noem's chief spokesperson, Mrs. Tricia McLaughlin. This is what corruption looks like. They're stealing money from the American people's pockets and depositing it into their bank accounts.
You know, this time of year always gets a little chaotic between work, family, and trying to plan for the new year. And my remarkable paper tablet has honestly become the one thing that helps me slow down and focus on what actually matters. It feels like real paper, but it organizes my entire life in one place. And unlike every other screen we stare at all day, this one is distraction-free. No apps, no social media, no pings. Just pure, uninterrupted focus. The holidays are here, and if you're searching for a truly meaningful gift, either for a loved one or as a well-deserved treat for yourself, we might just have the perfect idea for you. Meet Remarkable, the paper tablet. It's an elegantly designed, distraction-free paper tablet built to help you think better and focus deeper. It has the simplicity and feel of writing on paper, but with the power of technology, like organizing all your notes and ideas into one place, and even converting your handwriting into typed text. Choose the device that fits your needs. The original black and white Remarkable 2, the advanced color display of the Remarkable Paper Pro, or the new portable Remarkable Paper Pro Move. I'm already using mine to map out my goals for next year, and it's thin, lightweight, premium, and honestly just beautiful to use. So this holiday season, give the gift of being present. Give the present of being present. Find the perfect distraction-free paper tablet at remarkable.com. That's remarkable.com.
I think Congresswoman Crockett talks about Donald Trump giving Ghislaine Maxwell special treatment in prison. Let's play it.
Miss Maxwell, who obviously helped Jeffrey Epstein traffic more than 1,000 women and girls, well, Donald Trump is now giving her special treatment while she's serving out her prison sentence. He won't even rule out giving her a pardon or commuting her sentence. I don't need to explain why pardoning sex traffickers wouldn't be restoring law and order.
Here she is talking about Trump crashing over the Epstein files.
This is the president of the United States standing beside his best friend, Jeffrey Epstein. As we all know, Mr. Epstein is one of the most notorious sexual predators in American history. For 8 weeks, the Republicans on this committee have chosen to protect these two men instead of providing justice to Mr. Epstein's victims. Now the administration is panicking. First, they campaigned on releasing the Epstein files. Then AG Bondi and Associates did a photo op with the files. And she said, and I quote, "The Epstein list is on my desk." Then somehow the Epstein list didn't exist. Then the Epstein files became a Democratic hoax. Now the president is supposedly supportive of releasing the files, even though he's currently ignoring a congressional subpoena to do so. Now the president is simply crashing out. And it's because he can't seem to explain his special decades-long relationship with one of the most prominent sexual predators in American history. It's already public that he's in the Epstein files, but his administration is hiding the context of his involvement, if any, with Mr. Epstein's horrific crimes.
Then I got to give a hat tip to Democratic Congress member Robert Garcia. And he said, "We are going to make sure every single day that the Trump regime and its DOJ turns over the Epstein files. Now that the law has been passed, we're going to hold them accountable here in the Oversight Committee." How great does a leader like Congressmember Garcia make things? Here, play this clip.
I want to remind the Attorney General and the public that our subpoena does not have that language. And so if the Attorney General wants to use her sham investigation in the Southern District of New York to withhold evidence and documents on the bill that the president will hopefully just about to sign, she can't do the same for our subpoena. She is still legally obligated, regardless of any investigation, to produce every single document, photo, video, or material that she has in her possession of the DOJ to the Oversight Committee. That's something that we have not talked about a lot in the last few days because our focus is on this bill. But you can believe that in the next few days and weeks ahead, we're going to remind the DOJ that her investigation she might try to use to stop the effort in the full House. She can't use that to stop the effort we have in the Oversight Committee.
Now, let's take a look at what Democratic Congress member Jamie Raskin had to say. Play this clip.
We voted to create a plaque. I mean, it wasn't a memorial fund for anyone. It wasn't money to go to families, but at least it was a plaque to honor the work of the officers who defended us with their lives. And it reads, "On behalf of a grateful Congress, this plaque honors the extraordinary individuals who bravely protected and defended this symbol of democracy on January 6, 2021. Their heroism will never be forgotten." It was supposed to have been put up in the Capitol 2 years ago. It has still not been put up. And I thought I would start with an easy one, just a yes or no question. Would you agree that Speaker Johnson should put this plaque up as provided for in federal law? Dr. Levine, I can start with you.
Yes.
Ms. McKinney?
Yes.
Mr. Mora?
Yes.
And Mr. Mengele?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Now here's one more clip of Congressman Raskin from that hearing the other day. Play this clip.
There's supposed to be a plaque up in the House of Representatives to the officers because of their indomitable valor and courage that day, but the Speaker won't put that up. And they won't give $1 to the families of any of these police officers whose lives have been so fundamentally altered. But they did sneak a little provision in to give $1 million to each Republican senator who were inconvenienced because they were treated like other American citizens, and their phone records were subpoenaed because they were involved in the conspirators of that attack. That's where the sympathies run. Each of those guys was going to get $1 million payout. At least I think I heard Lindsey Graham today say he wanted tens of millions for what happened to him. What happened to him? Did he get sprayed in the face with bear mace? Did he have to fight for hours to protect American democracy? No, his phone records were subpoenaed the same way any American's phone records can be subpoenaed if they're involved in a criminal conspiracy or if their name comes up in a criminal investigation. And if you don't like that, you should support the bill that Chairman Jordan brought before us in markup yesterday, which we passed unanimously numerous times. That would save all Americans from abuse of that process. We've been trying to do that for nearly a decade, I believe, from this committee, and the Senate has consistently rejected it. They're not interested in protecting anybody else's civil liberties. They just want their $1 million jackpot payout. Well, in any event, so that was the story on January 6th, and this administration's done everything in its power now to reward the people who participated in it. Meantime, they're firing the officers, the FBI agents, the prosecutors who tried to prosecute it. Now, I want to tell you, though, a lot of people would want to sweep the whole thing under the rug, and they think it's over. But, you know, crime doesn't really work like that. And criminals don't work like that. As the good chairman said when he kicked this off, if you forgive crime, if you pardon it, if you let it go, you're going to see more of it. Well, let me tell you a little story about that. Because we've got lots of cases of these pardoned criminals going out and committing other crimes. Let me tell you the ones that we found that have been committed by people that Donald Trump pardoned on his first day in office. They've gone on to do terroristic threats, home invasion, burglary, vandalism, theft, felony assault with a deadly weapon, discharge of a firearm, manslaughter, drunk driving, grand theft, aggravated kidnapping, reckless driving, reckless homicide, invasion of privacy, conspiracy to commit murder as a hate crime, possession of child pornography, violation of protective orders, assault, violation of anti-stalking order, DUI, battery, felony, malicious bodily injury, rape, forgery, sexual assault, illegal gun possession, drug possession, conspiracy to murder. Who's responsible for all that? These people were pardoned by Donald Trump. Sentences commuted. Out on the streets now, these people.
And so while all of that was going on, you've got MAGA Republican Congress member Pete Sessions, and he jokingly bragged about Ghislaine Maxwell getting preferred treatment in the Texas minimum security facility because anybody in Texas is happier. And the interviewer was like, yeah, but that's a child sex trafficker. What the hell are you talking about? Here, play this clip.
Trove of information that will be gone through.
And Congressman, you did mention Ghislaine Maxwell, who's convicted sex trafficker and sex abuser. The NBC is reporting that her prison emails shows she is much, quote, happier at this minimum security Texas facility that she was moved to. There are reports of special treatment at that. She was moved after speaking with Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche. Are you investigating that? Does that concern you in any way?
Well, let me just say this straight up. Anybody that's in Texas is happier.
But one would hope a sexual trafficker would not be treated that way, sir.
Well, she is at a minimum security prison, a federal prison. Perhaps it does. In fact, there are a number of circumstances that we are aware of, and that is her own safety, her own life, her own opportunity.
There you have it, folks. Let me know what you think. These MAGA Republicans are unhinged. Unhinged. MAGA Mike and this crew, unhinged. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 6 million. Thanks for watching.
Love this video? Support independent media and unlock exclusive content, ad-free videos, and custom emojis by becoming a paid member of our YouTube channel today. You can also gift memberships to others. Let's keep growing together.